What's up everybody? Today in this video we're taking a look at this knife. This is a new knife brand that I've never shown on my channel. It's the Petrified Fish brand. I've never tried any of their knives before. They're a budget brand that compete with Civivi knives and other Chinese manufacturers like them. And this is the Petrified Fish Beluga. That's what this one's called. There's a large version and a small version, and this is the large. As you can see there, the finger flicks really well. Anyway, this is a Petrified Fish Beluga. It's got G10 handles, these nice contoured G10, smooth G10 handles. Look really nice, and it's got a Bowler K110 steel. That's new steel I don't have, except that it is because it's basically D2. It's Bowler's form of D2 steel. So that's what this one uses. It's just fancy D2. So here it's got this really nice curved drop point blade. A lot of belly in here. It's got a lot of big curve. It's a front flipper. So you got this top right there, front flip to your thumb. Pretty easy to use, and then you also do it with your finger as well. I can do it with this finger pretty easily. And it's got this long fuller that goes all the way out at the bottom that you can reverse flick, and you can also thumb flick it pretty well, just like that, right off the top, like that, and it's pretty smooth. You can see here it's got their pivot logo. I think looks pretty cool. It's a P and an F, Petrified Fish, and then you can see here, I don't know if this is the designer's logo, which it probably is. It looks like a rhino or something. And then it's got the nice fuller, and this side it's got the number, whatever model number, and then K110. It's a pretty boring looking knife, I would say. Pretty neutral, but it works really well. Nice slicey blade, comes down to a pretty thin edge. It's a liner lock, so it's got good lockup, absolutely rock solid, no movement up, down, left, or right, and it still has very good action. This is a smooth knife. I was surprised when I got this about how smooth it was in the pivot. I mean, this rivals some of my Civivi knives, even smoother than some of those. And as you can see there, it's got a little bit of detent double clutch situation going on, so we'll talk about that too. But as you can see, it's perfectly centered. And I like what they did here with the fuller. It comes out and disappears out the end of the blade, and you can see here it makes it for this really cool effect in the top of the blade. I like that. I think that looks really cool, where it like cuts in there. I think it's cool design that they did that. And it's not quite at the tip. They still have a pretty substantial tip there. But it's super smooth. It's a thick knife. It's very chunky. In the hand, it fills the hand out really well. It's got this backspacer. As you can see on the inside, it's been milled out for weight reduction. So it's a little bit, keep the weight down. And you see the pocket clip. There is completely flush. The screws don't even stick up. That's really nice. And it's super deep carry. Comes out the top. And then this clip works pretty well. In and out of the pocket's just fine. It says Beluga on there. Standard hardware, T8. This looks like a T8 too, actually. And then these are probably T6. Sorry if I'm not in frame here. Yeah. Yep, and it's got a lanyard hole, and you can reverse the pocket clip as well for left-handed carry, which is good. Always a plus to have on knives. So that's the Petrified Fish Beluga. We'll compare it to some other knives here. Let's compare it against the Paramilitary 2. It's a full-size knife. Compare it to Benchmade Bug Out. There you go. So just about as long as a Paramilitary 2. About the same length as that. And then of course it's bigger than a Benchmade Bug Out. And then we'll also compare it to the ZT-0308 and compare it to this guy today, the Civivi Praxis, another competitor in the budget realm. You can see there, it's almost as big as both of those. It's about as big as the Praxis, probably about as long, and then it's a little bit smaller than the ZT there. And I also like to compare it to another knife here, some other budget knives. This is the CGRB Pyrite, the large Pyrite, not the normal Pyrite, but the large one here. You can also see it's about the size of that, maybe a little bit smaller than that one. And then the QSB Penguin here on the bottom, it's bigger than that one. So Yep, it's a big full-size knife. They make a miniature version, which is smaller than this. It's probably about, you know, that long or so. I don't really know. I've never checked that one out, but it's a pretty cool knife. Good budget knife. Super solid. Everything feels really good. You can manipulate it with your left hand pretty well, as long as with either hand. I mean, I'm right-handed. I can front flip this with my left hand pretty easily, so no problems there. It's a pretty cool knife. Super smooth, solid action, solid centering. Definitely a good budget knife. If you decide to pick one of these up, I think you'll be pretty happy with it, as long as you like large front flippers. As far as large front flippers go, there's not many out there, but this is definitely a good one. And when you disengage the liner lock to let it fall down on your finger, the detent, it's got double clutch situation where you try and let it land and it'll actually catch on the detent before it hits your finger, and then you have to push it past that to land on your finger, and then it's the blade landing. So it does have double clutch situation there, which annoys some people, but if you don't mind that, then I wouldn't worry about it. Most of the time I found that I just release it down here and have the blade fall on my fingernail and then let it slide the rest of the way, which tends to work better. So you do get used to it after a while, but that's something to mention. Overall, it's a pretty cool knife. Definitely recommend this one. It's a good knife. I'm not a huge fan of this blade shape. It's a little bit plain to me, just a boring drop point, but it's definitely a good knife. Nothing to complain about. Just not my style of drop point, that's all. Yep, so y'all like this video, check out this knife if you can. Let me know what your favorite budget knives are. If you like petrified fish knives, what your favorite one is. And that's about it. So subscribe to my channel for more content, and thanks for watching. Bye.